What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. With it officially being the fall season, even though I don't really have fall weather, doesn't mean we're not going to talk about some fall fragrances, because here and there I've been having very few but some opportunities to reach for some fall classic stuff that I'm eager to wear, for example. And that's what we're talking about here today, what I deem some modern fall classics as far as men's fragrances are concerned. We got, a little bit of designers, we got some cheapies, don't really have any niche in here. All very easily approachable stuff as far as price point, but some great stuff nonetheless. We're going to talk about them. Stay tuned. Starting with one I haven't put in my rotation in quite some time. It is a modern fall classic, though, for the fall and the winter time. Boozy Tobacco Greatness from Maison Margiela. This is Replica Jazz Club. This is kind of the bar, if you will. This is what a lot of boozy tobacco fragrances are judged based off of. Does it smell like Jazz Club? Is it some people think it's lower quality, some people think it's higher quality. I think it kind of rides the line of, borderline affordable niche level quality. For a designer, I think it's on the upper tier. It's nice. It's not over the top warm and boozy, but it is sweet and boozy. And the supporting notes here don't allow that tobacco accord to get on the earthy side of things. So very easy to wear, very easy to like, high compliment getter, very attractive type of stuff with some pretty good performance. This is one that, again, if you haven't tried, I think Sephora, it's either Ulta or Sephora, I want to say Sephora, carries Maison Margiela. Get out, try the fragrance. Check it out for yourself, and you can get it cheaper online, around $100 from discounters. Not super cheap, but not super expensive either, and it's pretty good stuff. It's Replica Jazz Club. To this day, I still think for around $50, this is probably the best affordable vanilla you can get as far as men's fragrances. Mercedes-Benz Club Black, a hype monster in its own right. This is incense, amber. There's a little bit of ambroxan that freshens things up, but a lot of vanilla. Definitely a beautiful, sweet, alluring, smoky vanilla fragrance that this has been a hype monster over the years, and I think it's warranted and justified. This is probably Mercedes-Benz most popular fragrance that they've ever put out, and for good reason. It deserves it. It's really good stuff. You got to like men's sweet designers, because it is definitely in that designer quality range. It's around $50 to $60 from most places online. I actually haven't checked what it's going to be in the link yet. I didn't do the research prior, shame on me, but that's kind of going rate for this one. If you're in that $50 to $60 range, you're doing pretty good with this one. And it's a pretty good performer. It's in that 7 to 8 hour range in longevity on my skin, with a really good presence as far as projection and sillage, without being over the top. And it's Mercedes-Benz Club Black. Now, as far as the original DNA, I think the eau de parfum is the way to go. We're talking Versace Eros. I mean, this is love it or hate it. This is a fall classic. This is too much for the summertime, but spring, fall, winter, Eros works. Eros just works. Now, some would argue for Eros Flame here, because yeah, I agree. Eros Flame is the best Eros. But as far as the original DNA, the EDT, the EDP, and the Parfum, the green tealish bottle, this DNA of apple, vanilla, aromatics, a little bit of amber, touch of ambroxan. This, I think the EDP is the happy medium. You get enough of the warmth from the Parfum with a lot of the fresh, sweet, aromatic tones and the fruitiness of the EDT. I think it's the best way to go. As you can see, this is a tester bottle. Testers do come with caps, as you can see. And it's a great performer. Super attractive, high compliment getter type of stuff. I don't think it's played out. Now, it's sporadic when I do wear it, and that's only because I have so many fragrances. It's not because I think the fragrance isn't worthy. It's one that I need to get back in my rotation myself. It's got a little bit of a dent in the bottle. It is one that I have reached for many times in the past, but definitely a modern fall classic, in my opinion, would be Versace Eros Eau de Parfum. I still think this is the safest dip your toe into a tobacco-like accord fragrance money can buy. This is a fragrance community darling of the past that's still $20 to $30 range depending on bottle size. It's CK1 Shock. Still a rack store darling as well. This still shows up at the rack stores. This is some good stuff. Has this I want to say it's tangerine is the citrus fruity note at the top, with a beautiful sweet tobacco, amber, fresh green. I don't really find it to be any, all that powdery. It's not loaded with florals or over-the-top dense woods, but it does have a little bit of a woody accord in the dry down. It's just easy to like. This is one of the best CK1 flankers they've ever put out. Now, the color scheme on this bottle doesn't really match the profile, but definitely smells incredible. I mean, if you've never smelled it, you're kind of missing out. That is a good one. I gotta say, it's definitely a good one. Hell, what the hell? We'll give it a little spray on the hand after smelling it like that through the collar. Man, this is still so good. Quintessential fall cheapy stuff right here. All-time great, let alone a modern classic. It's fall and winter time. You could do so much worse for $20 to $30 on a fragrance. Almost reminds me of Thanksgiving, the way it comes across. It's got a little bit of a delicious element to it. Just a great fragrance for the fall. CK1 Shock. This next one, longtime favorite of mine. Shout outs to Spencer, not so famous YouTuber. We did a live stream on his channel the other day with some fall favorites, and this is one that he picked that totally agree. Phenomenal stuff. Salvatore Ferragamo's Uomo signature. Coffee, soft leather, some sweet tonka bean. It's a little fruity in the top. High compliment getter, great performer. In that $40 range. Another fall, winter, modern classic. This is my favorite in the line. I know a lot of people love the tiramisu coffee cake fragrance of the original. Casual Life doesn't really get the kind of love I think it should. That one's coffee, musk, and Broxton violet leaf. Odd combination that works. And then you have Urban Feel, the blue bottle, that very much an amber citrus. That's really good. You don't get a lot of the coffee. Coffee is kind of the part of the DNA for this particular line, because you did a little bit of the coffee here. Such a great fragrance. Another one, in my personal experience, high compliment getter. The probability is pretty high. There's no guarantees with any fragrances, but it's alluring, it's cozy and inviting. It's just great for the season. Salvatore Ferragamo, Uomo signature. Now for you gourmand lovers out there, this is one of the better honey fragrances. Honey, plum, hazelnut, Paco Rabanne 1 Million Lucky. This modern classic, that's for sure. This is great in the fall season when you want something delectable. This has great sillage. This will grab people. Sure, it's not the most natural smelling fragrance, but it is a delicious profile nonetheless. I'm not a big gourmand guy, but certain ones just do it for me. And 1 Million Lucky is one of those ones, if you will. Highly encourage you checking this one out. Sadly, in the past, I would have said 1 Million Privé, but it's been long discontinued for a while now. That is the aroma of autumn to me. If you can find 1 Million Privé, go for it without spending crazy resale prices, or get Paris Corners Milano Privé, making sense Fallen Leaf, something like that to go down the path of 1 Million Privé. But this is still available, and this is still a superstar for the season. It was always 1 Million Privé and 1 Million Lucky in my eyes for just two studs from Paco Rabanne for this season, and I need to get it back in my rotation again. I mean, it's a decent dent. It's 1 Million Lucky. Now look, this could be said for the entire line, but put some respect on the name of the original, that is Viktor and Rolf Spicebomb. This is a modern classic. This spawns almost yearly, almost annual flankers. Some years it does get skipped, not often, but this beautiful, spicy, lightly sweet tobacco fragrance, I don't think it gets heralded as much for a tobacco fragrance as it is a spice bomb, like the name indicates, with this wildly unique grenade bottle that you even pull the pin. I just love this stuff. It's always been phenomenal. I've said many times, for as much as I love some of the flankers, like I really believe of what's available on the market, the best one is Infrared Eau de Parfum. If I could only keep one Spice Bomb, I would keep the original. Because at the end of the day, this is the elder. This is the DNA. This is what all of them share. They all have a little bit of this profile in them. So it deserves the respect. It's still really good to this day. I don't think this will ever be a tiresome, played out DNA. This is a true modern classic for the fall season. It's way too much for the heat, but it is absolutely perfect and quintessential for the autumn. And it's Viktor and Rolf Spice Bomb. Now, speaking of spice, it'll be a polarizing pick, but this is the time of year that I like to wear this particular fragrance. It is Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum. That's right. So you take the original, that metallic citric shower gel type of fragrance, a little bit of pepper, and you dose that pepper up quite a bit. Amp up the sweetness a little bit, but mainly the spice. This is a much spicier fragrance than the original Eau de Toilette. Great performer. Easy to get some nose fatigue. It's super easy to go nose blind to this fragrance. I still, to this day, only wear 3 to 4 sprays when I wear this one. And it's not that old of a bottle like my EDT. My EDT is February 2015. That's like the beginning stage. That's the Monster Sauvage EDT. But this is like a 3-year-old bottle or something like that. It's not like some brand new formula, but it's also not a vintage formula, if you will. So really strong. It's just nose fatigue. I experience it, as do most people with fragrances like this, especially heavy ambroxan. Some people's noses are more sensitive to it than others. Mine's pretty sensitive to it, I gotta say, but while I can smell it, I love it, and then later when my nose comes back to life, I sure enjoy it. Wife's a big fan of this profile as well. This will definitely be back in the rotation. Love it or hate it, it's a modern fall classic. It's Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum. I saw this one at Ross Dress for Less a few nights ago, and it reminded me, it's been a while since I wore this one. There was a time when this was my #1 cheapie for fall. This is another beautiful spiced fragrance, nice and earthy, very easy to approach. Mont Blanc Presence. Here's a blast from Fragcom's past, if you will. Man, that is good stuff. Nice and earthy, spicy, but still aromatic and bright. Man, this has a lot to offer. It has been a long time since I have wore this fragrance, and it was nice to see that bottles are still popping up for around 20 bucks. It's still really good for the season. If you've never experienced this, this might be one worth rolling the dice on next time you're at Ross Dress for Less or Marshall's and you see a bottle for 20 bucks, 50 ml, 75 ml, any of the bottle sizes. It's actually really good. It's pretty balanced for being a spicy aromatic with some earthiness and a little bit of sweetness. It has a nice vintage masculine vibe without having that old man smell, if you will. Just awesome. At least on this channel, it's a modern fall classic because this was leading some lists early on when I was making content. Back in like 2019, 2020, this was topping some cheapy fall lists. It's Mont Blanc Presence. And last but not least, this is in the same vein of Spicebomb, but it's not the same fragrance because this has a nice rum, boozy note. And when it dries down, it's so much more about floral notes than it ever got credit for. Tuberose and iris with the soft, woody backbone dominate the dry down of this fragrance. It's very much 2 drastically different stages. Warm, spicy, boozy at the top, then soft, woody, floral, powdery in the base. It is Man in Black from Bvlgari. Yes, I know the parfum's easier to get these days. I just think it's overpriced. All the feedback I've gotten for it is it's, not much different from this. I need to sample it first. Man in Black parfum is not one that I'm willing to blind buy because I don't wear Man in Black enough. I can say that about literally 2,000 fragrances. I don't wear them enough because I just have so many, but this is still great. I mean, it's so much more affordable than getting the modern parfum. The 60 ml is like well over $100 for the parfum. You can get this 100 ml for around $70 to $80 from discounters online. And it's a phenomenal, timeless profile, in my opinion. Again, drastic difference in the 2 stages that you get from this one with warm, boozy, and spicy versus soft, powdery, a little creamy, and woodsy in the dry down. So not over the top feminine type of floral, masculine floral, because it does maintain some of that spice in the dry down. I think this is damn good. Very classy fragrance. Beautiful, warm, and inviting. Very professional-like scent profile. Great in the evenings as well. Just a modern classic for fall. And it's Bvlgari's Man in Black. Well, that was the 10 that I wanted to discuss with you guys. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. What would you consider to be some modern fall classics that you have in your collection? Definitely sound off below down in the comments. You have my curiosity. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of the 10 that I featured and you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.